This is the Razer Black Widow version 4 Pro and the Razer Basilisk version 3 Pro, and when combined with Razer's Mousedock Pro are an almost $500 combo. But this is the HP Keyboard 100 and X500 wired mouse, and I got these for less than $10. The HP keyboard has a hardwired USB connection for you to be able to plug into your PC, and in terms of special buttons, it has some volume control buttons right up here. Even the function buttons do not have an underlying layer of functionality. The keys on the HP keyboard do feel a little spongy, and it is difficult to tell when they engage so that you can release to get that quick reset and get ready for your next keystroke. However, if you do push them fully down, it does register your keystroke accurately. But just how accurate can a $3.96 keyboard really be? And that's why I'm pitting it against the Razer Black Widow version 4 Pro, which comes in at $229.99. To test the accuracy of these keyboards, I'm going to be pressing 10 keys simultaneously and seeing which keyboard is able to accurately register every single character that's pushed. I'm going to start with the Razer keyboard and then follow up with the HP to see if this thing is able to keep up. So here we go, pushing 10 keys on the Razer. All right, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 keys registered. Let's do it one more time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 keys registered. And now we're going to do the HP keyboard. Ooh, that is interesting. Again, 2. Let's try less keys. All right, so we're seeing 6 registered. Let's try it again. Another 6. The Razer keyboard was able to register all 10 keystrokes that I pressed simultaneously, while the HP was only able to register 1, 2, or 6 of the keystrokes that I pressed. But why is that? Well, that's where your extra money comes in when you invest in high-end gear. The Razer Black Widow 4 Pro has mechanical switches for each of these keys on the keyboard. And in this particular model, I chose to go with Razer's mechanical green switches. Think of these keys like a classic typewriter where each and every press is distinct and satisfying. In addition to the mechanical switches, high-end keyboards like this Razer model use something called N-key rollover, which allows the keyboard to register every single key press independently from any other key press, which allows the keyboard to register as many keys as you press simultaneously. Imagine playing a piano where you press multiple piano keys at once and each individual note is heard distinctly and clearly. This is what N-key rollover is like, where the Razer keyboard is able to register every single keystroke independently. This is particularly important for gaming, where you might be pressing multiple keys at the same time, and if your keyboard is not recognizing those keystrokes, it could lead to you losing a multiplayer game or getting killed by the AI in a single player campaign. Or even in the case of our test, where the HP keyboard was not able to register more than 6 keys, which means that this keyboard probably has a 6-key rollover, even though HP doesn't specify on their website what the rollover is. In addition, the Razer keyboard is able to pull key presses at a rate of 8,000 Hertz. Think of the polling rate like frames per second in a video game. A higher frame rate, like 8,000 frames per second, means that the picture is going to be incredibly smooth and detailed, showing every tiny movement. Similarly, an 8,000 Hertz polling rate on a keyboard means that the keyboard is checking 8,000 times per second for any key presses and ensuring that those are registered with extreme speed and accuracy. Much like 8,000 frames per second is going to render any tiny little detail of movement. It's crazy, but that is what is happening when you spend the money on a high-end piece of equipment. The Razer's build quality is much higher. Take the 2 dedicated scroll wheels, for example, which is a textured black metal and feels amazingly satisfying to use. Speaking of metal, the entire top face is a metal plate that looks amazing. The keyboard also features a USB-C and boasts a pass-through capability. The keyboard also has media controls to pause, fast forward, rewind, or quickly mute all sound. On On the side of the keyboard are 3 macro buttons and 5 more macro keys on the left side. The macro keys on the Razer can be used for multiple things, but its main feature is its ability to record a set of key presses and then use that one single macro key to replay those key presses back. We all probably know the keyboard command Control Alt and Delete. Well, when it comes to a macro key, I can record Control Alt and Delete into one macro key, and when I press that single macro key, it will run Control Alt Delete, which will result in the same output as if I had pressed all 3 keys. It's amazingly easy to do and super versatile, allowing you to customize your keyboard to your heart's content. And some games require multiple key presses for combos, and if you really wanted to, you could record those combos into a macro and just hit that macro key. The other part of the keyboard that's a ton of fun is its RGB capabilities, which allow the keyboard to have as much RGB customization as you want. Each individual key is lit completely independently, allowing you to change the color of any key on the keyboard to whatever your heart desires. This particular keyboard is able to even sync with particular video games, creating a customized color scheme based off of that game. This is all enabled by Razer's software called Synapse, and a lot of other high-end keyboard manufacturers will have their own software that comes with the keyboard as well. Now, the HP keyboard has none of these features. Its keys actually sit on a membrane, which is why it feels so spongy and it lacks tactile feedback. Again, there's not much else to say about this keyboard because it is that simple. But for the price, I think it does its job extremely well. 6-key rollover is plenty, in my opinion, for most video games, as a lot of games you're only going to be using one hand, and you only have 5 fingers on one hand. So I'm not sure that you would ever quite notice the 6-key rollover limitation, but the polling rate may produce some issues in accuracy if you are pushing all 5 buttons at one time. You might miss a key press, and that could cause some issues in your gaming experience. The price tag of a high-end keyboard is reflective of its premium features. In the case of the Razer Black Widow version 4 Pro, is the tactile metal scroll wheels, its macro keys, as well as its mechanical switches and immersive RGB. It's a blend of performance and luxury and allows a high level of customization for those who care about that. Keyboards are only half of the story when it comes to our gaming setups. Shifting focus, I'm going to compare the world of budget and high-end gaming mice, which are your gateway to interacting with your digital imagination. Does the higher cost actually equate to a better experience and performance? Well, stick around to the end of the video because the challenge I have laid out is going to be playing 2 full games of Fortnite, one on each combination, and whichever one wins is the winner. I may end up admitting that I wasted a lot of money on some high-end gear. The HP mouse has a very standard ambidextrous design that does just enough to be comfortable. It also has a hard-wired USB cable, much like the keyboard, and it has a 3-button setup, which is a left click, right click, and a middle click button, as well as a scroll wheel. Now, HP doesn't really specify what these buttons are, but when you press them, you can definitely feel some type of button inside. If there's an optical light that the button breaks, I'm not sure. In addition, the HP mouse has an optical sensor that tracks your movement across your desktop. But for $4.03, just how accurate is this mouse's tracking as well as its button clicking recognition? Compared to the Razer Basilisk version 3 Pro, we're gonna find out. Starting with the Razer Basilisk version 3 Pro, this mouse feels so accurate. I feel completely connected to the cursor through the mouse, and that's due to the 8,000 Hertz polling rate as well as the 30K DPI sensor. The buttons on this mouse are extremely repeatable. Therefore, when I get my mouse over the target, I know when I can click and when it will register, resulting in a very fast and accurate hit of the target and move on to the next one. There were a total of 52 targets in this test. I hit 48 while I clicked 49 times, which resulted in a click accuracy of 98% and a target efficiency of 92%. This mouse is extremely accurate. Now onto the HP X500. So we're starting the test for the HP X500, and you can immediately see I am overshooting the target and undershooting the target due to the lack of accuracy from this sensor. Some of the clicks are also not on, as I'm either just arriving or leaving the target as I'm clicking, as the clicks are not very repeatable. It's very, very apparent when you see the differences in these tests, what the difference between these two mice really are. Now again, 52 targets. I clicked 49 times and only had 36 hits, which resulted in an 80% click accuracy and a 69% target efficiency. But at the end of the day, you couldn't fail with a better number. While those test results speak for themselves, the Razer Basilisk V3 Pro just feels so much more accurate when you use it compared to the HP mouse. The reason for this is the 30K DPI sensor that pulls at 8,000 Hz when paired with the Razer Mouse Dock Pro, whereas the HP mouse doesn't have a specified Hertz rating by HP, but is most likely somewhere between 125 to 500 Hertz. The HP mouse's buttons feel spongy and are hard to gauge when they're actually going to engage the click, much like the keyboard. This is some of what resulted in a loss of accuracy in the test. In the footage of the test with the HP mouse, you can see overshooting of the target quite a bit, and that's because the Hertz causes the mouse to jump on the screen randomly. The Razer has optical switches which are short and extremely accurate, so your click is very easy to reproduce and is recognizable when it registers. How it does this is through an infrared beam of light inside of the mouse buttons, so that when you click, it breaks that beam of light, and that's when the click is registered. Razer just includes a tactile component to provide feedback on when your click is registered. In addition to that insane level of accuracy that this mouse has, it also has 3 extra buttons on the side of the mouse to allow you quick button pressing of actions in games that you would like to tie them to. It also has side scrolling buttons as well as a scroll type button changing and an on-the-fly dots per inch change, which translates to sensitivity increasing or decreasing. As you can see, there's RGB on this mouse as well, which is all customizable just like the keyboard. From polling rates to programmable buttons to dots per inch, which translates to sensitivity, this mouse has it all. There is absolutely nothing lacking when it comes to the Razer mouse, but when you compare it to the HP mouse, is it actually gonna make you a better gamer? Well, let's find out. We're gonna drop in the same spot for both matches. I can feel just how connected to the character in Fortnite I am through this mouse. Very easy to keep the recoil under control with this mouse. Feels great. Ooh, I got double teamed. So 87th is the place to beat. We're gonna land in the same place. We're using the HP combo right now. And I can already feel just feels completely different. Now this is probably not gonna be as hot of a drop because it's not yellow, but we do see a couple people here. Now with the Razer mouse, it just felt super smooth. You felt connected to the character. This you can feel a little bit of a delay behind it. It doesn't feel quite as smooth, but we'll see what happens. Landed same place. Keyboard also just feels a little bit more sloppy. All right, where did these guys go? I hear them. Where is this guy? Definitely a little bit harder to aim, but we're still doing it. Another guy right in here. Got him. You can definitely still play and play at a decent level because we already technically beat the other mouse and keyboard combo. It also has to do with your decisions as a gamer as well. Your awareness. I was not aware of that other guy on the roof behind me who triple teamed me or double teamed me and caused me to and killed me. So we're gonna go this way to the shooting and see how we do with sniping. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, a little rough with the sniper. It's not as smooth and fluid. But it's not too bad. Oh, behind me. Not terrible, but it does feel a lot less smooth than the Razer combo. Even though you definitely can still game, it's an overall just better experience with the Razer. Using a sniper is definitely a bit more easy. So if you're really into precision shooting in video games, the Razer is definitely going to help you out. But at the end of the day, we're running up on 55 players left, and I think the Razer, we dropped out at 87. So again, it all depends on your game. We see a guy right. Nope, that's a butterfly. It all depends on your decision making in the game, and what situations you put yourself in. All right, we're gonna see what we can do with these. Still rough with the sniper. Ooh, where is that coming from? There we are. Oh, that should have been a hit. Ooh, up close, this is a little rough up close. Let's find this other guy. Oh! Like I said, you make good decisions, you can play with anything. We got shooting up here, let's go after him. Let's go up the back side here. Probably meet him at the end. Yep, they just dropped the key. We're gonna flank behind them. Hit them while they're getting this. Definitely tracking people is a lot harder. Ooh, snipe off. Wow. Should have hit him a long time ago. Cool. Need to use my med kit. These guys are gonna come up over this hill. Ooh, shield. That is not good. Oh! So, like I said, it's not terrible. It is impressive what you can do with this $10 combo. Well, that guy came back to kill us. But we got 26, so I don't know what to say other than I wasted my money on this high-end gear. But boy, do I love using it. It's a lot of fun. So you can have fun playing with any type of gear. It doesn't have to cost $500. It can cost $10 and you can still do awesome. Go out, have fun, buy what you can afford, and don't feel any type of way about your gear. I just wanted to make a video explaining the differences and why some of the gear is much more expensive and where your money actually goes. But at the end of the day, this is plenty fine to get by. Well, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.